Alright, welcome back guys, if it's your first time here, I'm Vision Hero Barn Entertainment, bringing you guys another video. Today I'm giving you guys my review for The Walking Dead Season 11 Episode 5, Out of the Ashes. Now after walking through the Sumpter instant, don't forget to hit subscribe button down below, hit that bell icon, don't miss more Walking Dead content from me, moving forward. Now let's begin. Now, first off I want to talk about the smallest story in the episode regarding Maggie and Negan. Now you got the two of them who end up arriving at the rendezvous house. Now, you got Maggie, who is one to stay and wait for the rest of the group, but you got Negan, who says, look, we got some supplies here, let's take it back and get it to the people at Alexandria. But Maggie wants to stay there and wait for the rest of you all. Now, this is the first time I'm going to say I agree with Negan. Like, why not take the food you found and bring it back to Alexandria, and then, have another rendezvous point that you meet up with. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, I mean, unless Alexandria is, like, really far away, like a day's journey, then, okay, maybe. But, like, why not just have Negan or Maggie take it, most likely Negan, although Maggie might not trust him, but have one of them take it back and then set up another rendezvous point for them to meet the rest of the group. And you also got Negan who says, look, we don't even know if anybody else is alive, so, how long are we going to wait here? And Maggie's just saying, you know what, we'll wait here indefinitely. Well, again, annoying, and it feels like Negan's been like the voice of reason here, because then he's like, you know what, we'll wait till sundown, and if they're not here, we're heading back. Again, thinking logically, I just don't understand. Negan is in the right here. I don't understand. At the end of the day, at the end of the episode, you got Gabriel and Elijah who show up. I'm confused about Elijah because it looked like he had gotten kidnapped and dragged away in episode 3. I don't know, maybe it was just me, but it looked like he was because you had Maggie yelling at him, or yelling that he was being taken away, so I don't know. That's a little confusing. Again, probably doesn't matter, I guess. I'm assuming the writers probably think we don't remember that, but at the end of the day, it definitely is a little bit of a question for me at least. But then you got the Alexandria story. Now, we all know Alexandria is low on supplies and food. You had them go and get the horses, and Carol killed a horse in episode 3, whatnot. Now, they decide to go to Hilltop to try and see if there's anything there to, bring back. So you got Aaron, Jerry, Carol, and I think Lydia. I think that's all who went. And they go back to Hilltop, find it trashed, kill the people from their group that had been left there and died in the middle of the battle, put them down, and end up running into a Whisper along with a few others. Now, they question the Whisper. He tells them that he's the only one there. They end up finding more who end up running away. And you got Aaron, who's gone frustrated, and he ends up taking this guy hostage and, threaten, has him hanging, and friends have a walker bite him unless he gives up more information. Now, this episode has Aaron going kind of off the deep end, like he's gone crazy. Now, I feel like this is one of those things where, look, I understand it, but I feel like due to the fact that there's so much stuff going around that they're juggling, that Aaron being pushed to the background, it feels like this kind of came out of nowhere. And we had this dream sequence at the beginning of the episode of him and Gracie. I'm not a big fan of dream sequences, and it just kind of felt, I don't know, I didn't really like it. But it also feels like Aaron's whole, gone crazy kind of moment here just feels out of nowhere. He friends had the walker bite him, the walker does bite him, and he ends up, trying to give them information. He does give them some information, look, I'm on my own. Look, you gotta trust me. You got Carol who eventually intervenes, telling him, look, Aaron, we gotta, don't go down this path. You don't want to go down the same path I went down, and finally kind of talks Aaron off the cliff. I'll also say this, now, maybe I'm in the wrong, but it feels like Melissa McBride's crying was a tad bit, it felt weak. It didn't feel like organic crying. Maybe it was just me, but the way she was crying and breaking down didn't feel realistic. And I feel like Carol or Melissa McBride has the ability to do that, but it just felt like it wasn't very good here. But that's just me. Now, meanwhile, back at Alexandria, a story with Judith. Now, I really, again, like how they're bringing Judith and the kids forward. They're legacy characters. They're going to be the future of The Walking Dead, most likely. Now, you got her training the other kids. Now, that's a really cool, really like that scene. Now, meanwhile, you got these teenagers who's playing with the walkers around the fence. Now, first off, again, going back to last week's episode, ripping off what they did with season 4 with the walkers at the gates of the prison. Again, really stupid, recycling stuff that is stupid. Judith, goes up to one of the kids and threatens him. I don't know, it feels like they were trying to make this badass Judith moment, and it just came off again as cheesy. These teenage kids feel like they came out of nowhere. I thought Gage was the last of them, so that just kind of confuses me a bit. And I do like the fact that the walker that they were fooling around with was the guy playing the walker was, I think, JDM's son, so that's pretty cool. But then you got that going on, and you got later on that she returns to her house and she finds that the handprints of her and Carl have been knocked down and broken, and she questions the teenagers because they were in the house, and they just kind of rub it off and say it was nothing. Now, again, I feel like this was unnecessary setup with the teenagers trying to push conflict. I feel like they could have done it in a better, more organic way, where like Judith and the kids were playing in the house, and like while they were playing, they knocked down the handprints, and that kind of gave Judith this emotional moment. I do like, again, how they're forming this good friendship with her and Gracie. Again, I wish we had seen more of this earlier on, but it's good that they're doing it here at least, and hopefully we get more of that within the second and third half of the season. Probably not due to the fact that they have to do the Commonwealth story, so that'll be a lot more going on there, but hopefully we get more. But you got her who finds Rosita, and the two of them have a nice talk. I really like that. And you got Judith who's talking about how she's worried about forgetting Carl and everybody around her, and you got Rosita who sits down and kind of connects with her due to stuff that happened with her own parents. So I really like that. It was a good way to connect things. And again, I really like how they're using this whole thing as like a community raising a kid. Really cool thing. At first I was like, why is Rosita sitting there talking to this kid? It feels weird because like you don't really see Rosita doing those things. But at the same time, you have seen her doing those things within the past season or two. So that made sense. That was fine. I really liked the Judith storyline. Really great stuff. I just feel like they could have done something that didn't involve the teenagers just to make the story feel more realistic and more organic. But overall, again, okay stuff there. Now, going back, I didn't mention over with Aaron's group at Alexandria because they they cut off the guy's hand and they leave him pretty much behind at Hilltop along the rest of the Whispers that were there. Now, this was also a leftover story arc regarding the Whispers in Alexandria. I like how they did bring that up from the comics. That's cool. But as they're leaving, you got the guy that they were confronted. I think his name was Keith. And he informs them that, look, I got some information that might be helpful. That girl that you're probably looking for. We saw her in the cave. She's alive. Kind of, saying, look, Connie's alive. So I really like that. I was very curious to see how they were going to connect that and make our group finally realize that she was alive. So I really liked how they used this character here to, put those, pieces into place. It worked and it made sense. Now, meanwhile, you got the Commonwealth story. You got the characters there. You got Yumiko who reunites with her brother who's in a bakery. Now, I really liked how they did this from the comic arc. However, instead of it being Michonne's daughter, it's Yumiko's brother. It does. I was hoping we could see more of a surgeon. Maybe we'll get that in the second or third half. Maybe something happens where what happened to him, what his real job is revealed. Because it feels weird. Because while he's talking to Yumiko, he talks about how, don't tell the people that I lied to them. I feel like they're trying to set something up here with him, that he's hiding some piece of information. I really hope it's not like, he gets punished or something for lying. Again, I feel like they probably will go down that route, but it just also feels stupid at the same time going down that route. Again, not terrible, but at the same time, I feel like that's something that might end up happening. But I am curious. I but I'm hopeful that at the same time that we do get to see him as a doctor helping cure Ezekiel's cancer. That's something I'm hoping to see. Since he's a surgeon, that's something I hope we get to see down the road. Meanwhile, you got Eugene, who is bonding with fake Stephanie. We do get a run-in with real Stephanie. She has no actual lines, and she doesn't even know that who she's talking to, or that Eugene knows who she is. So that's fine. You got the two of them. You got Eugene, who tells fake Stephanie that, like, I need to get in touch with my people back home. This isn't a permanent stay. We're here to, make friends and try to bring back reinforcements and whatnot. And she tells him, look, I need to get a radio back to my people. She tells him that there's a building there that has a radio tower, and that he can use communicating through that. And he meets up with Princess and Ezekiel, who decide to help him. Now, I do like how they brought in these talks about their jobs earlier on in the episode. Ezekiel's put in as, I think, like animal control due to his time as a zookeeper, and Yumiko and Princess is put in as like a clerk at a store, because I think that's something she did originally. I don't remember. And Eugene was put in as, I think, like a teacher or something. I can't remember off the top of my head. Now, I also want to talk about the video, because they did show a video again. That's how we got to see the first introduction of Lance Hornsby. I'm going to be honest. I found the video really cheesy and cringy. I know there are certain people who like that and were hoping for something like that. I personally found it extremely cringy and just didn't really like it. I think it's an interesting way of going about introducing the Commonwealth, but it came off as a little bit cringy, at least for me. That's just my overall opinions. But going back to what I was saying, you got the group you got Eugene, who's trying to use the radio tower with fake Stephanie's help. Meanwhile, you got Princess, who's distracting, Mercer. And you got Ezekiel, who is on guard, in case something happens. Now, he ends up making contact and talks with Rosita and Judith over the radio as they're trying to fix the handprints. And you got him who tells, we arrived, we might be back soon. And you got Rosita, who tells him, look, Beta and Alpha are dead, the Whisperer War's over, but Alexandria is in ruins, and that to bring back help soon, because they are going to need it. However, in the midst of this radio, exchange, you got Mercer, who shows up and arrests Eugene. Now, one thing I'm curious about is, did fake Stephanie alert him and tell him this was going to happen? Because it something just feels like he was set up. It just feels that way to me. Maybe not, but it just feels like maybe fake Stephanie set him up. So then you got him, Ezekiel, and Princess, who are arrested and brought for, I guess, like a prosecutors or something like that, who tell him, look, you broke the law, you're gonna have to face the court. Now, I don't really like this. Mainly because Eugene and his group, it's their first day there. They don't really know anything about this place. And first off, they don't even plan on staying, and yet you're going to charge them. I get the way the Commonwealth works, but storytelling-wise, it's stupid. Because they also bring up the fact that due to this, violation of their codes, they could be exiled. Now, we know that's not going to happen. At least us comic readers know that's not going to happen due to the way the comic ends. And I also feel like even TV show people who watch it who never read the comics probably don't believe that they're going to be exiled. Because why go on this giant trip if you're just going to be exiled at the end of the day? Like, what are they going to do? Come back with an army and try to take it? Like, the Commonwealth Army would just murder them all. So it just doesn't make any sense. And, you got Lance Hornsby, who makes his first physical appearance, saying, look, let them go. Just kind of vouches for them and says, let them go. Fake Stephanie says, look, you might be off the hook here, but you might have to pay off your debt and you might end up being charged. You also got them saying, look, if anything happens, we got Yumiko as our lawyer, so, we're safe in that aspect. But again, I feel like certain aspects of this Commonwealth story were good. I did like it. I'm glad we're moving forward to Commonwealth story. But at the same time, certain things just feel weird, feel rushed, feel stupid and trying to stall time. Now we know that they're not going to be exiled. Like I said, both comic readers and most rookie TV show fans know that they're not going to be exiled. And plus, episode 7 description says they're going to be paying off their debt. So pretty much we know that they're not going to be charged. They're just going to be paying off their debt by killing a bunch of walkers. That's about it. So, there's nothing else going on there. That's pretty much fine. Overall, I did think this is a solid episode. Again, certain things I didn't really like the Maggie and Negan stuff kind of felt a little annoying, but I am going to be gracious this time, because I've been very critical on this show so far. But overall, I did find this episode to be pretty decent compared to some of the other ones, and especially compared to last week's episode. And I'm going to give this episode an 8.5 out of 10, my highest ranking for season 11 so far. Solid episode, just a few things here and there that I didn't really like, felt forced, felt suspicious about. But overall, did enjoy this episode, really liked some of the aspects, felt some of them weren't needed, felt some of them were forced. But again, 8.5 out of 10. But let me know your thoughts and opinions about the episode in the comment section down below. Yeah, guys, that's my review of The Walking Dead Season 11, Episode 5, Out of the Ashes. As always, if you like this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and share. Don't forget to hit subscribe button down below. Hit that bell icon. Then miss more Walking Dead content from me moving forward. And you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter, which is linked in the back section on my YouTube channel. As always, I'm Vision Hero Blind Entertainment, and I'll see you next time.